Welcome back to our Transport Fever 2 Let's Play. We are in the hardest difficulty. We started in the 1850s, and as you can see we have a lot of vehicles on the road, and that's making us quite some nice money. We're making almost 500,000 on this route, 250,000 on this route, and then we have our buses just to help those city grow. Don't hesitate to check on my channel or the playlist that will appear now at the top if you want to watch the previous two episodes. Strat Gamer covering strategy, city building, simulation games with game reviews, guides, tutorials and let's play like this series. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't hesitate to press the red button below so you never miss another video and you really help support the channel. We're continuing with our goals to provide all of the resources to all of the cities, connect them with high-speed trains and have a lot of planes in the sky. In the previous episode we started having bus routes in all of our cities. We also connected this farm to our food processing plant back into the city and coming back over here. So we basically did the same thing we did here but in a larger scale, and that's why it's making us more money. I have done one big thing since the last episode while you weren't watching, is I have transformed here all of those vehicles. We started the game with those horse-drawn carriages which can only have a capacity of 4 and a top speed of 18, and I replaced all of these on the red line by these American covered horse-drawn carriages. So still a horse-drawn carriage, but it has a capacity of 5 and a top speed of 20. And the ticket price when you sell something is actually linked to your top speed. If you don't know about this, don't hesitate to check the video that will appear now at the top, or that you can also find on my channel or in the video description below. I show how the top speed really is linked to the price. I prove it. So it cost me a bit of money obviously to change all of these, but now I'm making more money every week. We are definitely going to connect those two farms here to the processing plant, so that way we're gonna get our processing plant to level 4, really to the maximum level. That way we're going to be able to provide 800 grain per year, which will enable us to definitely provide all of the bread that Strat City and Pit City need. Get one of the city or processing plants, stations or just trucks named after you, don't hesitate to put in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, I have used basically all of my money to create the new station, to create those two lines, and also to buy all of the trucks necessary. You can see they are now going out. This one is working well, where they just come out over here, get the grain, and will be delivering it. You're wondering why I put it over here and not close to here, is because the further away it is from the delivery point, the more money we make. So we're gaining just a bit more over here in terms of straight line. On this side though, it's not working well. Even if I use a bit this waypoint here to force them to go this way instead of going that way, they're still going over there. It's really bad. But anyway, they will go all the way to the end, which will lose us some money in terms of maintenance. The next time around, that shouldn't be a problem. Now let's look a bit at the station. This is not the most beautiful station you'll ever seen, but I'm quite proud of it. I think this is pretty powerful and should avoid any traffic jam, because the red line will really focus on this over here. The blue line, the same extremely at the other end of it. And then we have those two new lines here, which will enter through here and there and exit from this one and that one. So we won't have a lot of traffic at the beginning. The reason also is that, as you can see, every time something, a truck delivers something, there's a small delay, right? So the more trucks you're trying to make deliver on the same platform, the more traffic we're gonna have. Versus with this, I don't think we'll have any traffic. The only problem could be over here, but I think we should be fine. Okay, so I've let the game run for 2 in-game years, just a few minutes, for a couple of reasons. The first one is because, if you remember, we are basically out of money because we're making so much money from all of our lines. I mean, we're making definitely more than 1 million per year. The second reason is I wanted to make sure that those two lines were actually working perfectly. In particular, that I wouldn't have any traffic jams here, and it's actually working really well. We're gonna see that. Because it's really working well, we are now delivering 800 grain per year to our processing plants. And thanks to that, we're producing 400 bread, and we are starting to ship more and more, which because we just passed the 300 shipment mark here, we're moving now to the 4th level of this industry, the maximum level. I'm going to unpause very soon. You'll see, this getting blue. You may be wondering why 300 only. Well, it's just because, we may be producing 400, but we need people to actually want those 400. So if you go into consumer, you can see here that for now we're delivering to Pit City and Strat City. And when you sum those two, you actually get to this 300. This is those numbers. They're not exactly the same as this number here, because there's a bit of a delay between what's delivered and what arrives here, and those type of things. But this is definitely going up. We're already at 70%, and I think this one even higher, at 80%. Soon, hopefully, we'll get to 100%. So that was one of the reasons, and this is really working well. Let me show you over here. You can see there is quite a few trucks, again, because those trucks are, quite slow and with low capacities. So we definitely need a lot. In the future, when we have bigger trucks, we'll actually need less, and then we probably won't need such a complex layout like this. But for now, it's totally fine. And now that we have some money, we can work on the next phase. Next phase is going to be working on the construction material plant. Construction material plant requires stones. It actually only requires 1 stone for 1 construction material. So we won't need to actually use both of these quarries, because 1 quarry produces 400. So actually just one of these 2 is enough to get us to the maximum level here. But then when we will build, start producing here, we want to deliver to Strat City, which already needs, quite a bit here, but also to Salinas here, which is a very small city, so it's good to start it growing. In the previous episode, I mentioned we use trains, and we're definitely gonna use trains, but we're not gonna do complex train where going from here to there, then going back here, then going back there. Why is that? Well, let's build a train depot for me to show you that. I'm building it just in the middle of nowhere to be able to just open it, and we'll go into the cargo. We see the box car cannot transport stone or construction material. This one can transport construction material but not the stone, and this one here can transport the stone but not the construction material, and this one none of them. So basically we won't be able to have a train that will be always full, because in one leg of the journey maybe those ones will be full but these ones will be empty. Then the second leg of the journey, these ones will be empty, but these ones will be full. So it's not that great. So basically what I'm thinking is we will still use a train with the train station sort of over here that will go both to Strat City and also to Salinas to just deliver the construction material. But on the other hand, for the stone, I'm just going to make it simple and use this road over here with trucks. I could also do the train from here and it will make more money than this, but there is this city in the middle that would, you know, make me go around, it wouldn't be that great. So for now, we're just gonna do it simple and use this. So let me do that in a high-speed time lapse, and I'll see you in 1 minute. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of what we've done. First, I created this first line here, transport this stone to the construction material plant. I used the same trick as always, where extending the road a bit further on both ways to make even more money than you could, because the money that you make is based on that distance, not based on this distance. I also, you know, sort of deleted completely the route that was already there and just put a straight line to make sure we do it as quickly as possible, because once again, the money that you make is based on that straight line. You do need also to make sure that there's not too much elevation. There's a bit here, but it was hard to avoid, except if I had done something like a bridge and then or a tunnel, but that will be fine now. And you may have seen at the end of the time lapse a small problem. The vehicles weren't really started because this truck unload stop was actually too far from this to really picked up, to be able to deliver here. They weren't started, I just moved it, and now it's totally fine. So this will start, you know, it will only deliver 100 because that's the max for now. Even if we can produce 400 here, we will only ship 100. That's gonna take just a bit of time, of course, to completely start. But now let's talk about the train. So I put a station here. This is not a terminus station, this is a throughput station where, you know, you can go both ways. I will probably also put a second line or a second railway later, but for now, one is totally fine. It also needs to be connected to the material plant with a small route. You know, the speed on that route doesn't matter, right? Because it will never impact anything. There will never be any vehicles on it. So definitely just choose the cheapest one, even in late game. And you don't have, you know, to use the same as this one. It can just be another one as long as there is an entry point connected. And you see that with this small line. So here you see there's nothing, and here you see a small blue line appearing. That means it is connected. So this is great. And then yes, I just start putting tracks, avoiding a bit the terrain. So for example, here you can see, right, that this was going up. So I had to make sure I was going on the side of the mountain and not through, otherwise there would be a very expensive tunnel. But yeah, it's going pretty well, you know, it's pretty, here there is a bit of elevation, but not too much. We'll see if that creates a problem with the top speed of a train. And once again, arriving here. And here you pretty much need a station because it's pretty rare that you'll be able to put your station at a place where you will connect to all of the right houses. So that's why I put it outside of the city, not have those emissions come in the city. Then you have a station. Right now they're not delivering, so they're just waiting. You may also have wondered why I extended the length of that station. Is because every time a train comes, it will deliver a lot of resources at once, right? So if you only have one you know, stack here, it won't be enough for everything that you deliver. And then you need to deliver, you know, to the places where it's actually needed, where the bricks are needed. You can see that here, you know, all of this, but there's also a few over there. There's some over here. So it was not that easy to find a place, but here with this one that I chose over here, I can cover all of the needed for now. When the city grows, it may not be a good place anymore, but for now it's fine. You may have wondered also why I put it here and not closer over here. Well, the first reason is you'll make more money because that's further. But the actual main reason is I wanted to avoid the residential area over here, which is why I'm coming over there. And then those waypoints that you can see here and there, I'm making sure that the route is going to actually come from here and stay in sort of this industrial neighborhood instead of going in the residential one. So far so good. I mean, I just need to buy a train. But before we do that, I want to talk about this warning here. You may have seen it went red when I cut that route here. And it's because I have cut the route between Salinas and Fort Wayne. So if there was people that used to, you know, live in Fort Wayne and work over here or wanted to shop, etc., they can't do it anymore. There's no more roads to do that. So that's why we get a warning. It's not actually the end of the world, but it doesn't cost much for us to just close it again and do it. Anyway, let's now talk about the train, because there is a lot of different trains. You know, if we look at this, there's a lot of different things. You may not know what to do. And the key thing here is you don't want to overspend in buying something that's going to be useless. And by that, I mean, if we look here, the Mogul has a top speed of 75 kilometers per hour. But if you look at your cargo, we're gonna need to buy this one, right? The flat car with side stakes to transport construction material. Its top speed is 50. So, you know, it's sort of an overkill to buy a locomotive that can go faster, because this will be the limit in this case. There is, though, a reason to buy something a bit higher. For example, this one is 60. Well, there's a couple of reasons. For example, this one is only 45. So if I buy this one instead of 50, I'll be at 45, versus this one, I'll be at least at 50. The other is also the power and tractive effort. So if we buy this one, you know, this is 130, this one is 284. So we're getting definitely a lot more power, which will mean, you know, it will be easier, will be faster to track a lot of resources. So we're actually gonna choose this one for now, and let's check how much we can carry without going to mediocre. Okay, so we can carry 49 without going to mediocre. Let's try that. You know, we'll start with just one for now, because once they are quite expensive. I mean, it cost us more than 2 million just to buy that. Even their sort of cost, their maintenance cost is also expensive. But yeah, so good to start, you know, with one, and then we'll see if we need more than one later on. We're going to make sure we only take this, and this is cargo mat city. Okay, of course, don't hesitate to ask any questions in the comments below. If you've seen something, you're not sure why I did it. But yeah, that should pretty much start right away. Because we are producing the stone for sure. You know, we're not yet at the full 100%, and transporting 100% of this 100. I don't think we have enough, actually. Actually, it shouldn't be too bad now. I think it's maybe just that it's taking time to start, but you can see that we are picking up as soon as it is. So that should be fine. Yeah, I think we'll get there. Let's look at this beautiful train, and even this level of detail where, you know, slowly but surely the wagons are getting fuller. Let's see when this one will. Taking a bit of time. One more. So anyway, yes, it is going to take a bit of time just for it to get full. but we'll see how much money we're gonna make with just one of these. In the meantime, let's do a quick check over here. We are producing 300 plus, not at 100% yet here, but we are almost at 100% on Pit City. It's funny that Pit City started as a second city, but is already growing further. And my understanding why a bit more bread is actually being sent to Pit City than Strat City, sort of in priority, is because we're making more money. You know, this is further away, we're making more money. So in a, you know, in sort of a station here, while both of these are wanting to get some bread, there's more bread that's sent this way than that way, just because we're making more money this way. So the game is sort of optimizing for us. Okay, so I mean, now we're still definitely making more and more money. Soon we'll be able to repay our loan without any problem. You can see that, you know, in this year, for example, there we didn't make any investment, and we were actually making more than 1 million for just half a year. Here we made a lot of investment. That's when we bought the new train. So we were in negative, but I'm sure now this will go back into positive. Oh, train has started. Let's follow along. You can also check at the bottom corner, bottom right corner, sorry, our top speed, to see if sometimes we may be going down. For example, here, this was the you know, elevation I mentioned earlier, which I was a bit worried about. So let's see if we're losing some speed. So far it seems pretty well. Yeah, we're losing 1, 2, 3 kilometers per hour. We lost a few kilometers per hour, but honestly not that much, and we're already back at top speed. So pretty good, pretty good. We didn't see the train leave the station, so we don't know how long it took to get to that top speed of 50 kilometers per hour. But it's also not that a huge speed. High speed, so it shouldn't take too long. And here we arrive. Let's see, 600,000 for just one delivery. So hopefully that will make us good money. You can see, as I said, you know, we filled a bit more than just one. So that's good to have a lot of space, and they're already delivering. Follow them. That's gonna definitely enable Strat City to grow again with this growth here. So that's pretty good. We haven't connected yet to Salinas, but I think this will be in the next episode. And in the next episode, we'll also start using the third type of vehicles. We've started with trucks, we've started with rails, so it's only normal that now we'll start with water. You may or may not see already which industry I'm talking about. Don't hesitate to put in the comments below if you've seen it, but that will be part of the next episode. Another part will definitely be to connect Salinas. I think we will also need more vehicles here, because hopefully this will soon, you know, level up if we are able to transport this 100. Because now I'm sure we already have a lot that's waiting for the train to arrive. So we may need also a second train, which will mean I'll start showing you how to handle when you have several trains on one line. I hope you liked this episode. Don't hesitate to press the like button if you did, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I hope to see you next time.